Jai Hind. On behalf of Lieutenant General M.P. Suchindra, Yuddha Seva Medal, Vishesh Seva Medal, General of Commanding White Knight Corps, we welcome you all to the 75th Independence Day celebrations.
It will be our endeavor to give you an overview of one of the most experienced and combat-tested force in the world, the Indian Army.
Swadharmapi Chaveksha, Navikapitum Maharsi, Dharmayati Yuddhacha Shreyo, Nya Kshatriyasya Navidayate. The famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita sums up the essence of the Indian Army. Having regard to your own duty, you shall not falter. There exists no greater good for a warrior than a battle enjoyed by duty.
Warfare has been an inevitable and integral part of any civilization. India is no exception.
The famous epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata bear the testimony to the same.
Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya are credited with the foundation of the ancient Indian army and the Indian military thought.
In the annals of modern warfare, there is hardly any place where the Indian Army has not fought.
Military history would not be complete without the mention of the enormous contribution made by the Indian troops during the First and the Second World Wars.
We will now take you through the glorious journey of the Indian Army over the years. During the presentation, we shall acquaint you with our history, role, major operations, organization, training, sports and adventure activities, and the customs and traditions which form our foundation.
As you sit back and enjoy this presentation, please do spare a moment to remember those sentinels who stand guard day and night over rugged terrain and endure the inhospitable weather to ensure our safety.
We begin the saga of the Indian Army, which has its genesis in the valor, courage, and sacrifice of the Indian soldier. Veteran Edward O'Brien aptly epitomizes the sacrifice of a soldier.
It's the soldier, more than the reporter, who has given me the freedom of press. It's the soldier, more than the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It's the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag.
Standing tall on the credo of the Indian soldier, the distinguished history of Indian Army dates back more than 10,000 years. Though innumerable wars have been fought by the valiant soldier, most were in quest of universal peace and dharma.
Recourse to arms was only taken when peace was threatened. In fact, the word peace forms the very core of Indian philosophy and can be traced to one of India's ancient scriptures, Yajurveda, which promotes peace.
The origins of the present-day army, in terms of its structure, came into existence in the 18th century.
In 1748, Major Springer Lawrence introduced the concept of companies to guard His Majesty's assets.
This gave rise to the concept of presidency armies. Madras, Bombay, and Bengal were the first to come into existence in tune with the interests of the British. In its nascent form, the presidency armies were raised as companies, but were soon enlarged to battalions.
By the end of the 18th century, regiments based on caste and regional system were in place, namely Punjabis, Dogras, Brahmins, and Gurkhas.
The advent of artillery in the Great Afghan Wars saw the birth of the Indian artillery in 19th century, wherein the mountain gunners made their mark in many campaigns.
The 19th century also saw the famous Battle of Sarajevo, which is considered as one of the greatest battles. The battle was fought on 12th of September 1897 between just 21 Sikh soldiers of the 36th Sikh Regiment against an overwhelming strength of 10,000 Afghan tribesmen. This battle is a testimony to the heroism of the gallant soldiers who died at their post in the defense of the fort of Sarajevo.
The heroism, bravery, and courage of the Indian soldier forced the British to extend the Victoria Cross to the Indians. Naik Garwan Singh Negi of Garhwal Rifles won the first Victoria Cross for India in the First World War. In all, in the Great War, the gallant Indian soldiers earned 11 Victoria Cross, 5 Military Cross, 973 Indian Order of Merit, and 3130 Indian Distinguished Service Medals.
The memorials of the World War II are testimony to many glorious battles fought by the 2.5 million soldiers and officers of the Indian Army.
The 40 Victoria Crosses conferred on the gallant Indian soldiers during the war are a testimony to the fact that by now the Indian Army has firmly baptized itself by fire in the battlefield.
Today, we stand here, proud of the foundation laid by our valiant soldiers with the resolve never to forget their sacrifice.
कुछ नशा तिरंगे की याद का है, कुछ मातृभूमि के मान का है। हम लहराएंगे हर जगह ये तिरंगा, नशा ये भारत के सम्मान का है।
Since independence, the Indian Army has been called to defend its motherland at umpteen occasions, and it has proved its mettle each and every time.
It operates in extremely varied terrain and operational environments, ranging from the frozen frontiers of Siachen Glacier to the harsh Thar deserts, from the run of Kutch in the west to the jungles of the northeast.
The Indian Army saw its first military campaign immediately after independence in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In October 1947, tribal raiders backed by Pakistani regulars infiltrated and advanced towards Srinagar, leaving behind a trail of loot and rape.
On 27th October 1947, Maharaja Hari Singh, the last ruling Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, signed the instrument of accession to India. Inspired under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Diwan Ranjit Rai, the first sector leading the Indian Army's response landed at Srinagar.
They neutralized, captured, and threw back the Pakistani raiders back to where they belong, thus saving Kashmir Valley from Pakistan's nefarious designs.
The Indo-China War of 1962 was triggered by the boundary dispute along the McMahon Line and Aksai chain. Though outnumbered 1:10, every Indian soldier will be remembered for the fortitude, grit, and sheer raw courage.
The heroic defense put up by Major Dhan Singh Thapa of 8 Gorkha Rifles at Trishul, or the battle led by Major Shaitan Singh of 13 Kumaon at Rizamla are legendary. These acts of indomitable courage will continue to inspire the generations to follow.
In August 1965, Pakistan dared to test the Indian Army, which was still under a consolidation phase post-1962 war. Approximately 30,000 Pakistani soldiers crossed the line of control, dressed as Kashmiri locals. This resulted in a full-fledged war breaking out on 1st September 1965.
The Indian Army proved its mettle yet again with notable achievements like the capture of Hajipur Pass and the designation of Pakistan's pride, the 1st Armored Division at the Battle of Khelkaran.
So much so that Bhikiran became famous as Patton Nagar, a graveyard of 2 regiments worth of American M48 Patton tanks.
During the 70-month Indo-Pak War, the Indian Army liberated the erstwhile East Pakistan while accepting the surrender of over 90,000 Pakistani soldiers under the great leadership of Field Marshal Manekshaw and Lieutenant General J.S. Arora.
What it is known, silent to remain. When the bugle calls, they shall rise and march again.
In the beginning of 1984, intelligence inputs were received of Pakistani designs to occupy the Siachen Glacier. The Indian Army preempted the Pakistan Army by occupying the Saltoro Ridge above the glacier.
The Indian Army continues to dominate the highest battlefield of the world against all odds of weather and hostile enemy at the dizzying heights of up to 22,000 feet.
Amidst the proxy war in Kashmir, Pakistan attempted to grab Indian territory by infiltrating regular forces in the garb of militants, this time in the Kargil sector. And once again, Pakistan got a bloody nose from the fearless and valiant soldiers of the Indian Army.
What emerged at the end of the campaign were numerous acts of gallantry, outstanding junior leadership, extremely high morale, and the fact that when it is about the country and the love for the motherland, the Indian Army stands tall.
When it comes to the north and northeastern sector of the country, the army has to perform a dual role, that of guarding the line of control as well as countering insurgency and terrorism within its own territory.
Counterinsurgency and counterterrorism is a reality that the Indian Army has to face on a daily basis. For over half a century, the Army has consistently delivered a telling blow to adversaries who wish our country harm.
Counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism operations have provided the stable operational experience for the Indian Army more than any other army in the world. Indian Army has been delivering since almost half a century. It has successfully neutralized over 25,000 terrorists, apprehended over 30,000, and recovered over 50,000 weapons.
The Indian Army soldier not only fights and kills, he also has a heart of gold. Its soldiers have won the hearts and minds of the local population in these areas.
Numerous projects have been undertaken with an aim to win the hearts of our brethren and get the alienated youth back into the mainstream.
The Indian Army also has played a stellar role in providing aid to civil authority and addressing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. The 21st century has seen an increasing number of natural disasters.
In addition to these wars, Indian Army has also been engaged in special operations, some of which you may be aware, like the surgical strikes conducted in Myanmar in 2015 and on terrorist launch pads in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in 2016.
Indian Army stands solidly committed to assist the United Nations in the maintenance of international peace and security with a proud history of UN peacekeeping dating back to its inception in the 1950s. Indian Army has contributed more than 180,000 troops, the highest number from any country, and has participated in 44 missions till date.
Now, let's understand the broad functions of the highest headquarters, namely the Integrated Headquarters, Ministry of Defence, Army. It is the highest military headquarters responsible for operational control, training and administration of the Army.
To enable the Army headquarters to exercise effective command and operational control, the Army has been divided into 6 territorial commands and a training command. The geographical limits of the territorial commands are along the state territorial boundaries to a large extent.
Further, the commands are subsequently divided into corps, which consist of divisions. These divisions are further divided into brigades.
An army formation in the field, such as a brigade, a division, or a corps, contains two broad categories of units: the arms and services.
रग रग में जोश की बूंदें, बूंदों में जीत ही गूंजे, इस गूंज से गिर जाएगा आसमान भी कदमों में। रग रग में जोश की बूंदें, बूंदों में जीत ही गूंजे, इस गूंज से गिर जाएगा आसमान भी कदमों में। रोको ना सपनों के तूफानों को, रोको ना जज्बों की उड़ानों को, रोको ना बातों के निशानों को। आग जैसे बरसा दे ये इरादे, जिगरा है जिगरा है, जिगरा है जिगरा है, जिगरे से निकलेगी चिंगारियां। ओ जिगरा है जिगरा है, जिगरा है जिगरा है, जिगरे से निकलेगी चिंगारियां। जिसमें है हक अपना चीर के ले जाएंगे, ना छोड़ेंगे ना छोड़ेंगे। जिसमें है हक अपना चीर के ले जाएंगे, ना छोड़ेंगे ना छोड़ेंगे। जीतेंगे ये हमसे देख रहे जो ख्वाब, अब हम तोड़ेंगे हम तोड़ेंगे। आएंगे नामाज हम, मिट्टी में मिला ले आज हम, ये सर पे तेरे गुरूर है जो छाया। आएंगे नामाज हम, मिट्टी में मिला ले आज हम, ये सर पे तेरे गुरूर है जो छाया। रोको ना सपनों के तूफानों को, रोको ना जज्बों की उड़ानों को, रोको ना बातों के निशानों को।
The arms constitute those elements which are involved in close combat, and the services comprise those elements that logistically support the arms fighting in the battle zone.
Infantry, the queen of battle, is the arm meant for close combat. The role of infantry in attack is to close in with the enemy to destroy or capture him, and in defense is to hold ground against all forms of enemy attack.
Armor is the combat arm of precision. The unique characteristics of firepower, mobility, and protection combined into a single platform make it the king of the battlefield. Its classic role is to destroy the enemy by relentless mobile offensive action.
The mechanized infantry provides the much needed protection and firepower to infantry, giving it the capability to do multivarious tasks in all operations of war. It is equipped with the versatile ICV BMP-2, a fully amphibious vehicle armed with a 30 mm cannon and Condor's anti-tank missile.
If armor is the king and infantry is the queen of war, artillery is the god of war. The role of artillery is synergized and orchestrated application of all five assets aimed at the destruction, neutralization, or suppression of the enemy.
The Army Air Defense. The role of Army Air Defense in the tactical battle area is to prevent enemy air force from interfering with the sustained conduct of ground operations. In the rare areas, it provides close air defense protection to specified strategic and national assets.
The Army Aviation Corps performs tasks like combat search and rescue, combat transportation, logistics relief, and medical evacuation during war and peace.
True to their motto, Sarvatra, The sappers are first in the battle and the last to leave the battlefield. The role of the Corps is to apply engineering knowledge, skills, and resources for the furtherance of the commander's plan.
Are communicators the core of signals? The primary role of the core of signals is to provide all types of signal communications, as also to render advice to commanders and staff on matters relating to signal communications, electronic warfare, and cybersecurity.
The Corps of Intelligence performs tasks of collecting intelligence to use at our advantage and to deny own information to the enemy.
The Army Service Corps is the senior-most service of the Indian Army. Its role is to provide, hold, and issue supplies, animal fodder, fuel, oil and lubricants during peace and war.
The Army Service Corps is also mandated to operate all mechanical transport of the Army, less the unit transport. In addition, it also holds and operates the animal transport units of the Army.
The role of Army Medical Corps is to treat and evacuate the sick and wounded, supply medical stores, and render advice to formation commanders on health, hygiene and sanitation matters in the formation and station.
The Army Ordnance Corps is responsible for provisioning, reception, storage, and issue of all types of stores, equipment, and vehicles. The Tuskers are also responsible for ammunition management for the entire Indian Army.
The Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers is responsible for the repair, recovery, and inspection of all mechanical, aviation, electronic, medical, and optical equipment of the Army.
The arms and services synergize their efforts in a seamless manner. They are able to function as a cohesive team during operations due to extensive training during peace. On Army Day 2020, history was created as Captain Tanya Shergill, India's first woman parade adjutant, led an all-men contingent during the Army Day parade in New Delhi. With this as a backdrop, we shall see the role of women in the Indian Army.
Armed forces have always been considered as a male-oriented workplace, but now it has women in every role, setting examples for others to follow and embark on. The journey of women being inducted in the Army began in 1958 with the induction of women into the officers' cadre in Army Medical Corps. So far, more than 3,500 lady officers have already been commissioned into the various arms and services of the Indian Army.
Since 1992, women were first inducted into various branches of Indian Army, only in short service commission, and their onus of training was taken by Officers Training Academy, Chennai. In 2008, women were first inducted as permanent commissioned officers in Legal and Education Corps.
In 2020, women officers were further inducted in 8 more corps as permanent commissioned officers. As of today, women can also join the paratrooper wings of their respective arms like Para Electronics and Mechanical Engineers, Para Signals, Para Army Service Corps.
In May 2021, 83 women were inducted as ranks for the first time in the Indian Army. These ladies were recruited in the Corps of Military Police. Serving the nation with pride, as of today, 3 women officers among us have reached to the rank of 3-star general.
Thus, there are many opportunities for women in the Army, their main role being in the supporting arms like administration and logistics. Here are 10 streams which women officers can join. Apart from these, women officers also join Army Medical Corps, Army Dental Corps, and Military Nursing Services.
Women officers are now eligible to occupy all the command appointments at par with male officers. This will open avenues for further promotions to higher ranks for them. Moreover, permanent commission would provide job security and peace work more effectively.
We have the inspiring stories of India's most respected female soldiers. With their impressive records, they have established new frontiers for women.
Lieutenant General Punita Arora, Param Vishis Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishis Seva Medal. Born into a Punjabi family that moved to Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh during partition, Lieutenant General Punita Arora is the first woman in India to don the second highest rank, Lieutenant General of Indian Armed Forces, as well as the rank of Vice Admiral of Indian Navy. Earlier, she was the Commandant of Armed Forces Medical College in 2004, the first woman at the head of the institute.
Lieutenant Colonel Mitali Madhumita, Sena Medal. On February 2011, Lieutenant Colonel Mitali Madhumita became India's first female officer to receive the Sena Medal for gallantry, a decoration given to soldiers for exemplary courage during operations within India and on missions abroad. Lieutenant Colonel Madhumita was leading the Army's English language training team in Kabul, was the first officer to reach the Indian embassy in Kabul that came under attack by suicide bombers on February 2010. Though unarmed, she literally ran close to 2 kilometers to reach the spot. Personally extricated nearly 19 officers of the Army training team who were buried beneath the rubble and rushed them to the hospital.
Major Divya Ajit. At the age of 21, Major Divya Ajit Kumar beat 244 fellow cadets, both men and women, to win the Best All-Round Cadet Award and get the coveted Sword of Honor, the highest award given to a cadet. To achieve the Sword of Honor, one must triumph the merit test, which comprises of PT test, swimming test, field training, surface subjects, obstacle training, drill test, cross-country enclosures, among other things. The first woman to win this honor in the history of Indian Army, Captain Divya Ajit Kumar, led an all-women contingent of 154 women officers and cadets during the Republic Day parade in 2015.
Lieutenant Colonel Sofia Qureshi of the Corps of Signals created history when she achieved the rare distinction of becoming the first woman officer to lead a training contingent of the Indian Army at Force 80, the Asia Plus multinational field training exercise held in 2016. She was also the only woman officer contingent commander among all Asian Plus contingents present for the exercise. An officer from the Corps of Signals of the Indian Army, 35-year-old Lieutenant Colonel Qureshi, was selected from a pool of peacekeeping trainers to lead the Indian contingent.
Lieutenant Colonel Anjana Baduria. Lieutenant Colonel Anjana Baduria is the first woman officer to win a gold medal in the Indian Army. She had always wanted to be an officer in the Indian Army. After completing her master's in microbiology, she applied for the induction of lady officers into the Army through the Women's Special Entry Scheme and was accepted into the first ever batch of women cadets in 1992. Excelling in every field during the training, she was chosen for the gold medal from a batch that consisted of both men and women.
Major Priya Sehwal, scripting history as the first Army Jawan's wife to join as an officer in the armed forces. Major Priya Sehwal, who lost her husband in a counterinsurgency operation, was inducted into the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers of the Army as a young officer in 2014. The 26-year-old mother of the then 4-year-old Vaishya Sharma, Major Sehwal's future looked bleak when she heard of the death of her husband, Naik Amit Sharma, serving with the 14th Rajput Regiment in a counterinsurgency operation near Hiri Tawab in Arunachal Pradesh in 2012. She then decided to join the army in memory of her husband and his love for his motherland. The list continues with the contribution and successes of women who are excelling in this non-traditional role.
The life of a woman army officer is full of challenge and grit. It is definitely not an easy task, but the army provides an excellent job opportunity for women with grit and determination. It is a place where you get a chance to face all odds, yet emerge victorious. Of course, it is not a conventional career choice, and you will be one amongst a few who get into this. But if you can make it in this, you will have the best times of your life, a place where you can grow and learn in an environment of safety and security. And most importantly, you get a chance to do your best for your motherland.
The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. This adage holds true even today in the world of information age warfare. The essence of training is that no soldier should ever lose his life or limb in combat because he was inadequately trained. And the Indian Army boasts of some of the finest training establishments in the world.
Pre-commissioned training of the Army officers is carried out at the National Defence Academy, Khadagwasla, Indian Military Academy, Dehradun, and Officers Training Academies at Chennai and Gaya. The curriculum for training gentlemen and lady cadets to be infantry platoon commanders includes physical training, a strong academic syllabus, leadership development, communication skills, sports, and diverse activities to keep the body and mind in good spirits.
Post commissioning, the officers undergo specialized training in the schools of instruction of their respective arm and service, which provide focused training as per their role.
In a joint services environment, it is imperative that all operations are conducted in close coordination with the Air Force and the Navy. Following the motto, we train as we fight, the Army regularly trains with the Air Force while suitably dovetailing reps in the operational discussions, war games, and exercises.
With a view to safeguard Peninsular India and island territories, the Army has the capability of deploying an amphibious force along with affiliated complements of armor and mechanized infantry. Elements of the amphibious force are suitably dovetailed into the Indian Navy's major annual exercises.
With a view to achieve interoperability with forces from other nations, the Army regularly conducts joint military exercises and trains with more than a dozen countries across the globe. Some of the major countries include the USA, Russia, China, and France.
The Indian Army has played a stellar role and contributed significantly to our nation's sports. It has laid the bedrock for many sports in the country and is a force to reckon with.
Hockey wizard Major Dhyanchand, Flying Sikh Honorary Captain Milkha Singh, Colonel Rajvardhan Singh Rathore, and Sultan Major Vijay Singh have brought laurels to the country. The army has also successfully conducted the Military World Games at Secunderabad in 2007.
Subedar Neeraj Chopra of 4 Rajputana Rifles recently made the nation proud by winning a gold medal in javelin throw at Tokyo Olympics 2020. In recognition of their contribution to sports, the Government of India conferred the Arjuna Awards on Colonel Ravi Rathore, Subedar Satish Kumar, Subedar Neeraj Chopra, and Naik Subedar Jensen Johnson, as also the Dronacharya Award on Subedar C.A. Kodappa in 2018.
The Indian Army has always been in the forefront of adventure activities. Since its nascent days of mountaineering in the early 1960s, it has come a long way, setting standards in a wide range of other activities.
There have been a large number of successful expeditions to the Mount Everest and other challenging peaks. The recent highlights being scaling of Mount Everest peak thrice over by Brigadier S.S. Shekhawat, Kirti Chakra, Shaurya Chakra, Sena Medal, Vishish Seva Medal, and an all-women army expedition summiting Mount Everest in 2005 and May 2012. Colonel Ranveer Jamwal summited Mount Vinson in Antarctica on 4 Jan 2019 despite adverse climatic conditions.
The Indian Army soldier is infused by a set of values that make the soldier willingly face a plethora of challenges and when the call may come to give the ultimate sacrifice in the service of the nation.
The ethos of the army is ingrained in all soldiers with an unwavering will to succeed and accepting their great responsibility.
In the spirit of selfless sacrifice, the tradition is never to question why, but to do or die for the Naam, Namak, and Nishan.
Fidelity, honor, and courage. He is a man on whose shoulders lies the honor and integrity of his country. He knows that he is the last line of defense and he cannot fail the nation.
Discipline and integrity impart the feeling of patriotism, honesty, and courage under all circumstances.
Valor, fearlessness in combat and in the face of the enemy, even against great odds.
Spirit Corps, the spirit of comradeship and brotherhood of the brave, regardless of caste, creed, or religion. The concept of Izzat in the unit enables them to shun the fear of death. If God coward is worse than death.
Last man, last round is not a cliche. It is a blood-soaked fact with the Indian soldier ever ready to make the supreme sacrifice in battle. Customs, traditions, and leadership are the ultimate forces that mobilize men in battle.
The Gallantry Awards conferred on our valiant soldiers is a testament to that fact which is enshrined in history.
Tradition is to an army what fragrance is to a rose. Tradition is that subtle, mysterious, indefinable term, military spirit, whose significance has been so well emphasized.
It is due to these deeply ingrained customs and traditions that the Indian Army has accredited itself on bravery in battlefields all over the world. To sum up, I would like to add
That to find us, you must be good,
to catch us, you must be fast.
but to beat us, you must be killing.
At the end, I would request you all to kindly rise for the national anthem. Jai Hind.